There's been 25 takeovers, and we might be talking about the best one that happened. And then there were 2 matches on tonight's NXT, so all that to break down. Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Oh, okay. This is when it warms up. This is when it gets better.
I'm so folded.
Young Evan at 15, breaking it down.
Take a snapshot. Shout and see how I ball.
They want a snapshot, but nah, I ain't posing. My earrings making your camera a little hard to focus.
I got a particle of dust.
Not much happened on NXT, but we can talk about Evan's hit tonight.
No, we
right?
can talk about your moves not being on beat. Let's talk about that.
There's things on beat. It's a constant,
Oh, God.
evolution of this stuff going on. Welcome to the NXT After Show. It happened tonight. Joining me to my left, and only one here on the set, is the Queen of Toronto. It's not Kawhi. He's not running that show out there. It is the woman who reinvented cocoa butter, and I can attest for that. It is the Queen of Wrestling. She kind of runs everything. TK Trinidad.
Thank you. What's up, guys? Yes, Joseph, I may God be with me this week, but I'm happy. Glad to be back. Glad to be on NXT. Watch a little bit of Takeover. So, is what it is.
That's what it is.
And then congratulations. I know I didn't. Well, yeah, you were on the show last week, but congratulations to John Moxley. He won the IPG Japan Pro Wrestling title. So we'll get that out of the way.
Well, you guys know where Anissa's at in Japan. And I am DJ Alexander, for those of you who forgot. Yeah, I'm still around. And Evan's not here, so shout out to my boy. He's out there doing things. And to the
Saving
mayor,
lives.
I have breaking news. Probably everyone's heard about it. The mayor did not become the mayor, but he's still the mayor. So take it for what it means.
Undefeated.
Unlike Bianca, no one pinned Flobo for that. But we'll still call him the mayor. I'll still call him the mayor. NXT Takeover 25. That's the talk, right? I know you guys talked about it on Raw some.
A little bit, yeah.
But no one saw you. So, I mean, you just heard. You were heard.
Oh, yeah.
The lights went out or something.
Yeah.
Thought The Undertaker might come out, but the voices sounded good. It came through well in the car and all that.
It was a great show.
I know. It sucks when you have a good show.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, c'est la vie.
Well, sometimes things happen.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it now. That was, like I said, there's been 25 NXT takeovers, and they're usually really good, but this one for some reason stands out to me. Like I think it might be one of the top 5 of them that they've done.
Okay, yeah,
I just think a match quality wise, it was just high flying. Everyone was going. I didn't see Adam Cole was winning that one either, so that was a surprise in that sense. I just thought it was good from top to bottom, even how they booked the matches. From the start.
And they had storylines for pretty much, I think they had storylines for every match where it made sense, like where why these 2 individuals are going together. And even though, for instance, Shayna Baszler won, retained her belt, it's like, it's still understandable and they're actually moving on from that, but it makes sense.
Yeah, no, everything made sense. And Riddle started us out with Roderick Strong. I believe that's happened. It's been a few days. That was a heck of a match. I don't know what's happening.
I like Matt Riddle.
I do too. And
I like the when he started and he kicked the flip-flops. That was pretty ballsy.
I mean, that's his move. But he's just like his in-ring skills. They've won me over.
Wait, what?
I know. Rewind me from 2 months ago.
Please, somebody in the social universe cut that and pin it to Twitter. Wow.
It's just the guy I could see champion for sure potential with him now. I think he's in the right path to go. I know this is maybe this is a cold coming over or something. But I've been consistent on this lately. I really like the guy in the ring. I still would like to change a bro gimmick when he gets to a higher level. I don't think it's going to work ultimately, but I can see him with a gimmick alteration. I could see him as
a slight alteration.
On the level of a Drew McIntyre on the main roster or something like that. Someone that's a Drew McIntyre that was getting over, not the current one, not the bodyguard.
Yeah, I think Matt Riddle, obviously with a slight modification, unless they do something totally different, meaning they cut his hair and do something where...
Right, you want to keep him somewhat still, maybe just get rid of the surfer. You can keep the bro thing to a limit.
It depends, because even Dream, I've said it plenty of times where I feel like he's great at NXT, but carrying it over to the main roster, I'm not so sure. And I love what he's doing now. I just don't know if it's going to get the pop in the main roster.
Yeah, because he's got a unique gimmick for NXT, and it's only really the major kind of gimmicky gimmick that they have on the show. Everyone's kind of more, I guess, basic in a way.
No, I like Keith Lee. Keith Lee is actually developing at a good pace. Meaning that, like, people who were indies knew who he was, and he came to NXT. Then we didn't see him for a little bit, and then we saw him. And who did he have a match with today? Sorry.
Today, Kona Reeves. So let's go into. We'll go back to Takeover. Let's start. We have 2 matches to go over.
I just started.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It actually works. We're gonna get this stuff out of the way and get back to
Barry Mack.
That's right. All the Macs out there. Keith Lee versus Kona Reeves. Kona Reeves been doing those kind of backstage appearances. We see him once in a while, occasionally. And whenever they present him, he was kind of gimmicky. You'd see that. Who's, I guess, kind of a Riddle-ish gimmick in a way.
Yeah, he was doing like photo shoots.
And like they kind of blended him. But when he's in a ring and just kind of without gimmicks, he's solid. Like, I liked what I saw from him tonight.
Yeah, it was definitely a believable match.
Yeah, it was believable. And Keith Lee goes over. And now I think it's a time, if they're going to push Keith Lee, do it now.
His music, his personality... It's just like the package is there. It's like when he first debuted, they kind of knew what they were going to do, or he kind of knew what he was going to do. And when I don't even want to call it a reincarnation, but this version, it's like they just bumped it up a notch. And I like this version. This is a believable version. This is a believable version, meaning that we could see him every week or every other week, battling in order to get a belt.
He kind of reminds me of a blend of Big E and Mark Henry. He could be Mark Henry with just the physical appearance and intimidating look. I mean, he's a big guy, but he moves more like Big E. Big E's a great mover, and he's got a comedic thing to him too. He's got personality.
That he did, that dude's not a small dude.
No, he's not at all, and he can move in a ring for that guy that size. So I think he's kind of a Mark Henry, Big E mix, and which is a really good thing in that way, because he can do both imposing intimidator kind of role, but he can also move in a ring. And if you want him to do more kind of skits and have more personality, he can show that.
Down to his facial expressions.
Yeah.
If you run back the tape and you see when he's sitting on the mat, and it's like I think he did a kip up or something like that, or he's about to do one, and you see his facial expression where he's just like frustrated. Like that's not easy or hard. You know what I'm saying? It's you can think it, but to actually do that facial expression is
right, and have
like
the camera catch it and stuff. Yeah, it's the nuances in the ring. You know what I mean? That they get overlooked in a lot of ways. It's a solid match. Keith Lee picks up a win. I kind of like these two matched up. So I don't know if they're going to continue, but I'm glad Keith Lee went over, because Kona still has time. He was just seeing the beginnings of them.
I think, let me know in the chat, because I think he beat him before too, a couple months ago. Because this is not their first go around. But I do want to see him with other people and see how those interactions are.
Yeah, I think it's time to start moving him up the ladder at NXT. Yeah. Because I could see him on a main roster. He could fit in. There's a spot for him, for sure.
Yeah.
Keith
in
Lee,
a faction, though. I mean, by himself is okay, but in a faction would be great.
Yeah, and that's the thing about him. You can do multiple factions. You can put him in a New Day if you wanted to. Big E's out for a while. And then you can put him as... You want a bodyguard for Shane or someone like that? What a way to introduce Keith Lee.
Yes.
Right?
New Day, no, because they have that brother thing. Like,
they've been around for a while.
They've been around, and like newcomers be okay, but
you want someone new and kind of that fans might not be aware of. You bring for Shane. You can debut him as a maul or a monster right away.
Right.
You want to turn him heel, and he'd be over right away.
Oh yeah.
That way. So there's options with Keith Lee if they want to move him up, and I'm glad he's picking up wins. He's gaining steam that way. Mia Yim and Bianca 2 weeks in a row. I've been calling it. It is the end of Bianca. I don't know.
Meaning that you think she's going to be called up, or meaning that she's going to be rolled out with Vanessa Bourne?
BMP.
Oh.
BMP. I don't
think
it's been a downward spiral.
Her husband just won the belt.
It doesn't matter.
And I feel too...
she's more over than he is. She's been more over.
But yeah, I feel too with that, what they... a major disservice, I mean, they posted the pictures when he won the belt, obviously, because people know they're married. A major disservice is that, she didn't come running up like, oh my God, you won it. Like, she was nowhere to be seen.
Right.
And I don't think that was any fault of hers. I think that's just how they scripted it. But why not use...
Especially if they're open about it on social media.
They're married.
Yeah,
it's
they're
not
married.
Like
it's
a
a
relationship.
legitimate... Right.
Yeah. It's just, I hope not. Everybody knows I'm a huge fan of Bianca. I don't know.
If they were going to move her to roster, I think they would have done it already with the initial move because
but where?
after it doesn't matter. I think she could.
She would be buried on the main roster for sure.
Maybe.
No, she would. Look at Amber Moon.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Look at Naomi.
Yeah,
like Naomi.
We need to get the girls out of the BNP. What's
Naomi's
up with
switching
that?
her
Come
hair
on.
every week, and nobody's paying no mind to Naomi. And Naomi's
and she
been
came
there
out
forever.
so strong when she had the roster switch too.
Right.
And now so quickly.
So I think that Triple H is just waiting because
but you can't have her lose clean. You cannot have her lose clean to especially Mia Yim, because Mia, let's face it, she's kind of.
They should be a faction. They should be on the same side because they're both. They both have. I don't even know what the right words are. They're both of the culture, meaning that, well, Mia Yim's half black, so that's one thing. But they're both of the culture, meaning that their entrance music is similar. It's very hip-hop based. It's very urban based.
Right.
It's like, why don't they just become a faction and then go up against Shayna and the gang?
They could. The only thing with Mia Yim where I can see total star potential for Bianca is that she's forgettable.
Who, Mia Yim?
Yeah. I don't, there's nothing about her that's catchy or that stands out. Like, she's solid in a ring. And maybe she's a quiet person. You can't force it upon some, but there's nothing that stands out about her. I'm like, oh, I remember Mia Yim. Like every time she wins with Bianca, I think, oh man, Bianca lost again,
Well, that's the same thing with Keith Lee when he first debuted.
But Keith Lee has a unique look, and he's like a guy with a unique skill.
Mia Yim has a unique look. She's half Asian. Like she's a half Asian. I believe she's like from Northern California. There's certain things about her that make her different. But I think
she needs a gimmick. Then she needs something, because right now she's very basic in so many ways. She's just like another wrestler. Like a generic wrestler.
Well, that's one thing. I think they're testing her because Bianca already has her thing. And
yes, for sure.
Yes, they are burying her somewhat because the undefeated thing, they could have used that all the way to SmackDown if they wanted to.
Yeah.
But I think with Mia Yim, they're testing her because even with Keith Lee, he does have a personality. He did have a personality when he first debuted, but they worked out some kinks where now he came back and everything about him is spot on now. So I think they're just trying to find what the angle is for her, like what little thing they have to tweak in order, because she's a solid wrestler. She's been wrestling forever.
Right.
So
She's
it's just like one of those things
while.
that they're probably finding that little thing that they need to tweak in order to have her pop.
Her winning these matches is not putting her over, though. I think it means more for Bianca to lose. It's a bigger deal than Mia picking up wins. Like, oh, you beat Bianca twice. Like, she's still not. She still doesn't register.
Yeah. I mean,
she still doesn't. She's not over. Like,
all you have to do is look at the merchandise.
Yeah.
I don't think Mia Yim has merch. She might have one shirt. Tell me in the chat.
If anyone's buying it or seen it, let us know.
Yeah.
But I'm just worried about Bianca. It's been a downward spiral since that undefeated when she lost that game, and it hasn't risen at any point. When has she kind of shown promise ever since?
But maybe that's the thing, though. Maybe, hopefully, they're setting up for because she can't. Let's be honest. So she has
too much already. Yeah.
So maybe they're letting her cool off a bit in order to do a ramp up, in order for her to get the belt, and then transition on.
The thing is, she's a heel now. If this was a face, they could have done a heel run. It's like, I'm sick of losing, and then she just goes kind of, haywire in that sense. But now, how do you do that with a heel already? That's tough.
Well, I think
to change a character, and she can't go face, because how's that going to help?
Well, she can. She'll have to switch up a few things, but I honestly think that she can do. I think she definitely she can't go after Shayna alone. I mean, she can, but storyline-wise, I think it would make more sense if she has some type of backing. That's why I think Mia Yim is perfect, meaning that she's still developing her character development. However, if her and Bianca match up, then they both have this character, and now they're both going after Shayna.
Yeah.
Or Bianca's going after Shayna, and Mia Yim is backing her up. because Shayna's going through the locker room.
I get the idea. Someone needs to find a stable to measure up against Shayna.
Yeah.
Because Shayna's the only one with a stable, and all these women are. I guess you're kind of seeing what Candice LeRae now helping out too. It's slightly a stable, but they need more. They need more.
That was hella weird. You had Candice like just walking behind Io and didn't say nothing.
Yeah.
Like that was.
What is she there?
And then
she didn't come out at the takeover with a thing, but.
And then a couple months ago, she was walking behind Johnny. Like she's always walking behind people, and she's a qualified wrestler.
Yeah, she needs to be in front of everything,
right?
And especially in a ring.
Yeah, and maybe it is a character development too with Candice. It's like they're trying to find, because let's be honest, what we talked about on Raw with Lacey Evans and Charlotte, meaning that people were getting, or somebody was getting them confused. And it's like you can't confuse them. No way, shape,
Especially
no way, shape,
not
or
with
form.
a gimmick.
Right.
No way.
So the thing with Candice is maybe with her, because she's blonde, because she's white, it's like you need to do something so she's standing out against the rest of the people on NXT and the rest of the people on the main roster. And maybe that's what they're trying to figure out.
That could be. I don't know. I mean, at least we're seeing more of her on TV because we weren't seeing her regularly.
Yeah.
Now at least there's a purpose to show her every week.
Well, I mean, yes and no. I mean, her walking behind Io is like, oh, y'all friends now? When did it happen? Like,
I know.
Yeah,
it's like, I'm going to help you.
Yeah. Oh, it's like Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss is like, this is okay. This is what we doing.
Speaking of help, you guys can help us out there. Yeah, all of you tuning in chat and watching. Hey,
you
all
always
you have
me
to
saying
do,
this stuff real creepy.
All
like,
you have to do. What creepy? This is look at the fantastic promo I'm about to cut, and I'm getting interrupted here. All of you at home. It's me, DJ Alexander. You know what you can do. If you're not in chat right now, you can subscribe. Just click that button. You know, take your finger. If you have those like cool screens, just press on that, or just take your mouse over, and you know what to do. Subscribe. If you're in a chat, join us right now. We need to hear feedback. We need to know if Mia Yim's got merchandise or not. You guys can help us out in the chat. And if you're listening to us, if we have another outage or power or anything where you can hear the great voices of Flobo, TK, and Mac, you know what to do on iTunes. Give us a 5-star rating for their voices and comment there too. So we love your support. We need it. Thank you for making us the ESPN of TV talk.
Definitely. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Bosa, you, Darkstar. Darkstar had, this is the first time I'm seeing you in the chat. So, I mean, you might have been there before. It's the first time I'm seeing you. She or he says, I feel like Mia will probably be a filler challenger, considering they're taping everything from June 19th to Toronto over the span of 2 days. Oh, wow. I think they'll spend those 8 weeks. Huh. Maybe.
Filler for what? Like, what's the end game here?
Maybe a filler until SummerSlam, and maybe like as far as a storyline, like her and, because we probably won't see Mia.
Shayna's got to drop it at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Who she dropped it?
Yes,
I only see Bianca as the viable one that could do it.
Yes and no. Meaning that is she staying in NXT? Her along with the force, her being part of the four horsewomen. Mm-hmm. If she doesn't drop it and they're still there, and they have another faction to go against, they can extend it a little bit longer.
They need a faction though.
Yeah,
because right now, who's challenging them? One individual, and they get crushed every time.
Well, yeah, because that's the thing. If you had Kairi and Io together, then it's like, okay, well, now you could see them matching up. And you could do doubles, you can do singles, whatever. But now there's no viable option. Chelsea Green should be coming in sooner or later as well.
Right. Yeah.
So, we have a few people that are in the locker room that we haven't seen yet, but I definitely think, so here's to wrap all that up. If Shayna doesn't drop the belt, she and the crew needs to have a legitimate crew to go against.
Agreed.
If Shayna does drop the belt, the viable option is Bianca Belair. But that means Shayna should be moving up.
Right.
So one of those two options need to happen. If Shayna drops the belt and she's still in NXT, it'll be kind of weird.
That'll be weird. No, you can't do that. You just can't do that.
However,
she needs to drop and move.
If they have a faction, then Shayna could be going back after the belt, because that's what she did before. Mm-hmm. She drops the belt, and she's going to try and retain the belt all the way up to WrestleMania next year. That's a possible too. It just depends. There
needs to be a faction right now.
Yeah.
Though. Right now, because to get us over the next few months with that. And then that was it for the matches. But we had 2 promos. We had Tyler Breeze. I like Tyler.
You think he's coming back? Did he say he's coming back?
Yeah, he said he's staying in NXT. He's here to stay. So Tyler Breeze, I guess, making it official. I'm glad. When this guy gets screen time, he looks good.
Well,
and he's more over than he will ever be on the roster at this point, at least.
Right.
This is a way for him to rejuvenate his career, and he can get back to the main roster and be actually in a mid-card level, I feel. Just keep him around here in NXT. We saw him wrestle at TakeOver, and he can work in a ring. He's got the mic skills. And the gimmick. I like what I'm seeing. I'm glad they're utilizing him. I wish there's other talent on the main roster couldn't come over and do the same thing.
Right.
Kind of revitalize themselves like he's done. But I hope they keep it up. I'm glad he's sticking around. NXT
he
roster.
was definitely a great competitor against Dream.
Yeah, and the characters lined
Velveteen
up.
Dream.
And
is
they
it Dream
worked,
or Velveteen? Did they take the Velveteen or is it Velveteen Dream still?
I think they use both.
Oh, okay.
They call him the Dream. I think Morrow calls him the Dream, but then
Somebody in the chat, Charlene in the chat says, sorry to go back. They said, are the horsewomen ready? And I don't think they are ready.
You don't? I think they've been ready for a while.
Ready to go to the main roster?
Yeah, as a faction, not as separate. Because if you separate them, we don't know anything about the other two.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why we almost need another faction so we can see the horsewomen. And that's what they're doing
never
next
wrestle.
week.
They're
wrestling next week.
Okay, finally.
They're doing Io and Candice are going against the horsewomen next week.
Finally.
So I think if they do that, and now we're seeing where they are ring-wise, then yes. But I don't think Shayna should go up without them. That's too much of a storyline right there. That storyline has been
No, it's a built-in story. Yeah.
before they even started WWE.
Agreed.
So yeah. But Tyler, I mean, commend him. I wonder. The thing with other wrestlers not going back, you have to think that it's in Florida.
Yeah.
As far as training wise, all this other stuff, family, because they're older wrestlers, family, girlfriend. So I think maybe he's just more gypsy-like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he can afford to do that. But if you have kids in school, you can't
and
just
you're
pick up
living in a different state.
Right.
You need to leave when the show's over.
Yeah. So come and then this might put him over in order for him to jump back into the main roster.
I think it's only a good thing. I don't see anything. And then we have the Priest come in. I love this club gimmick. I like this cool Damian Priest. I love the promo. The guy's chilling in the club. He's like a baller.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I'm digging it. I'm excited to see him. I hope they don't ruin it because so far the promo looks good. I like the.
Yeah,
it's a simple character in a way, but it's cool. I get that.
And
cool
I like that
vibe
promo.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, he's coming.
Yeah, he's coming. He's coming from the clubs. You don't see him say anything. You just kind of get the side shots of him and all that. I like the lighting. It's a well executed promo there. I'm excited to see him and what he's gonna do in a ring. And hopefully they're gonna. Yeah, I think hopefully they're gonna put him over and use him well.
Yeah, I think after WrestleMania, NXT went into this little I don't know if they felt that way, but it felt like, oh, what are they going to do now? And it looks like they've had all these plans, barring nobody gets injured. I think, in the next coming weeks, we're going to see what's happening leading up to SummerSlam. And I think it'll be an exciting time for a lot of folks.
You know what's an exciting time? It's an exciting time when the boudoir is getting ready to get cranked up.
Oh, my goodness.
I've been waiting.
Oh my goodness. I'm dancing my way. Wow.
Always new moves, always new things to add to the boudoir.
Oh my goodness. So
who you got?
Keith Lee for sure. Just like I said before, he's he had maybe 60% of the package when we last saw him. Now I think he's up to 80. Everything as far as facial expressions, etc. Maria in the chat's literally throwing up.
Oh, stop. You know you loved it.
And then also, kind of we should put her up more, Candice LeRae.
Yes, I agree.
Because as she's doing that walk away, she has a banging body.
Hey, that works. And you know what? I think this is going to be a regular Bianca Belair. I'm feeling it. I like it.
Bianca's always been in
the style. I love her outfit tonight,
she sells
too.
her own outfits, right?
Oh, she does?
Yeah,
and
she does her own hair. Even the EST, if you go, she has a YouTube page. The EST, she cut it out and she does all that stuff. And then she does some of her husband's outfits too.
Man, Bianca's talented all around. I love it. I love it. So she's in a boudoir for sure.
Charlene in the chat says, I remember Jim's first boudoir when Jim was awkwardly chair shaking.
It's where we graduated those days. Okay? We moved to bigger things. And of course, Annie in the boudoir, Mandy Rose, I'm always there for you, and Alexa Bliss. That's right.
Oh my gosh! Shout out to Barry Mack.
Oh yeah, and all the Macs out there. Oh, do you see Bianca? We see her on the screen right
Yeah.
now. Damn, I can't believe she makes her own outfits. That is so well done, and the hair too.
Yeah, hair.
Puts in a lot
And
of
the
work.
boudoir is brought to you by Center in Skincare and Candles. For everybody who's listening to us on YouTube, Spotify, all this other stuff, if you go to Center In and you put the promo code AfterBuzz TV, you get 10% off of any of your purchases. So that's cocoa butter, candles, body scrubs, all that good stuff. So if you're watching and supporting, and you want to support my company as well, because that's what brought you the boudoir, you can type in AfterBuzz TV and you get a nice little discount.
And it smells good. I can attest for that. It's real.
See, white
It's
boys
for
and
real.
cocoa butter.
Hey,
just saying.
I'm gonna find use
believe
for
her.
it. Okay, I'm gonna find use for it. Smells really good. I mean, it does. I got a whiff of it. And I'm like, hey, sold. You know.
Oh my goodness.
Big fan. Next NXT Takeover 25. We're going right back into it. So we covered Riddle. We like him. I like him. I can't believe I'm saying that. Let's go to the women's match. We talk a little bit about Shayna. Just kind of. Did you like what Io did at the end? Kind of showing that mean
the
streak?
frustration.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
But then that's the thing, though. What is she gonna do now? I mean, I think they did her a disservice. I understand they're building her, but I think they did her a disservice bringing Kyrie over to the main roster.
Maybe they're going to move her too. I've been thinking that whole faction with Paige.
I think that faction would be great.
That'd be a real dominant.
But they could have
faction
done
then.
that. They could have done that faction SummerSlam, and not SummerSlam. Yeah, SummerSlam, because it's like. I believe they're on SmackDown, right?
Yeah.
So I think I'm a couple weeks behind SmackDown, but I feel like with Asuka, she rolled back down to the bottom of the hill. She could have done the bottom of the hill for a couple more months, a couple more weeks before they brought them over.
I think they could make them kind of a New Day, where they could alternate in a sense, and or like the Undisputed Era, alternate them, and have them wrestle different men. You never know who you're going to get in a match, or get the titles and kind of switch them between each other. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, there is no reason why. I mean, one, they're friends.
Yeah.
So it's not like,
It's a
you guys are
natural-
all Asian, let's put you together. It's definitely not that. But
And they've already worked with each other in NXT, so you've seen already the connection there and the tag team work that they've done.
I think it'd be good. And I think it'd be a good resurgence for Asuka. Because Asuka had a good run when she came to WWE, and then, like we've talked about many times, they just Charlotte pretty much squashed that. And we've been seeing Asuka try to. She has gotten the belt, and we've seen Asuka just trying to figure out, like she's not as over as she was when she first got to the main roster.
That's so true. Velveteen and Tyler Breeze. I like that match. I thought it was a really good match. I said it would steal the show. And, hey, they put on a heck of a show. I mean, some of those moves, it was back and forth. You didn't know who's going to win at some point.
Right.
Velveteen comes out on top. I thought they scripted that one perfectly, and they really executed great.
Yeah, that was a great match.
Told
That
a great
was-
story, too, in the ring.
And the selfie at the end.
I know. That was so perfect. It's fitting. Everything was fitting with that gimmick and storyline, and they really put on a great show together.
It's like the puzzle pieces fit. Sometimes you watch certain things, you're like, what is this? Why is this happening? All of that made sense, and it made sense for Dream to retain it. However, Tyler's remaining in NXT, that's a good feud that you can span until SummerSlam.
Yeah, no, you can keep that one rolling. Street Profits won the tag team titles? What?
I was so surprised, and I was doing the math in the car. So we have Street Profits, we have Velveteen Dream, we have Kofi Kingston. Who else do we? No, New Day doesn't have championships. No, they
Not
have.
yet, no.
So that's like 3. So maybe the BMP, maybe they're actually listening to us.
Dissolving, right?
Maybe they're actually
But I was surprised they won. But I mean, heck, good for them. That was a surprise win.
And I like their backstage. Was that backstage for this? Was it for this episode? Or was
Yeah.
Okay. Their backstage where they pulled the day one guy,
Yeah.
and they shout the Usos. That was amazing.
That was cool.
And I like the
that.
fact that everybody had the red cups, even though, it's kind of borderline, but they're encouraging it, then, I'm cool with it.
Finally, last but not least, my boy, Johnny Gargano.
Wait, he's your boy now?
Listen, I feel bad for him. I actually feel bad for Johnny Gargano. I thought he was going to win, and I kind of was hoping he would win.
What would he do after he won, though?
What is he going to do now?
Well, isn't he's studying, were you here for that episode? He's studying to, he's also doing producing stuff?
So career over already for Johnny? I mean, boy, I had him. I didn't have high hopes for him, but man, I at least thought he's going to have a longer run than this, if that's the case.
He has, he could definitely go over to, and which I think they should. We need more people in 205. So has anybody watching 205? Is
No.
Cedric still on 205, or is he? Because
Yeah,
I
I
haven't seen
think
him
he
on the.
is. Yeah,
Didn't he make his debut on Raw?
No, I think they put him back to 205.
Damn. Please let me know in the chat.
Yeah,
Because I
we
swore
haven't
he was
seen him
supposed
on
to
Raw.
make. Yeah.
Yeah, he
but-
was supposed to be on Raw. I think,
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Johnny, he can go on 205. They definitely need more people on 205 because
This is what I've been saying. People have been hating on me for the longest time.
no, what's how you were
Reality.
saying it.
Yeah, well,
It's how
the truth.
It's how you're saying because it seemed like you were taking away his wrestling accolades,
No, they
and
put
he's an amazing wrestler.
Him and Cole put on a hell of a match. I'll say that. They really worked it. I mean,
Yeah.
they were going at it. That was a heck of a match. So in ring, they made it work, you know?
Yeah.
And Cole's, I mean, he's solid. I just don't see him on a next level. I think he's kind of the
Adam
second
Cole?
reincarnation of Johnny Gargano in a way.
Really?
With a little bit more charisma. I don't see him on a. He's small and on a main
It doesn't
roster.
matter. The size
He's
part.
not going to get over like that. I mean,
He might
gonna
get over faction-wise.
He's not Ricochet. That he doesn't have that special it that can get him over on a main roster. Faction maybe, but he's at best. At best, Adam Cole is a low mid carder on a main level. Low mid carder at best. I'm gonna close my case.
I don't know. I think you can go either way with him. Like he's not. I can see, for instance, Keith Lee getting over more than
yeah.
Adam Cole.
No question.
But it just depends on it. Fans are fickle, meaning that they might like you for no reason whatsoever, and everybody might get behind you just because of personality, or they might not like you. It just depends on what resonates with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think depending on when he debuts, who he goes up against, all those factors, because some people could come over and it doesn't matter what factors it is, they're gonna get over.
Right.
Some people come over and depending on who they had a match with, the gimmick that they had, how good they were on the mic, if they're really big on social media, all those factors might put them over to a point where it's just like crazy.
I just think he has a similar path to Johnny. There's too much similarity between those two guys. I mean, Cole is the heel and he's got a faction. Cool, but
I think the faction for Cole would be well,
it would help him for sure because I don't know what he does as a singles.
Yeah, they would have to come over as a faction.
I just don't have high hopes. I mean, it's cool that he won, you know, and everyone going
Adam Cole, baby. Yeah, I think that
Mac,
would get over in the main roster.
I don't think so. I think Bebe would be, baby, tonight it is all over for you, Adam Cole. I know Mac is probably just like
shaking his
fuming
head
right now
Yeah.
somewhere, but
after he finished saving lives.
I'm not telling you anything you already don't know out there. So I said it with Johnny. Now he's going to be in production. Maybe Adam Cole can join him in like a year or so. So take that, baby.
I think Charlene asked me about the Red Cup gimmick.
Which
the Red Cup, the solo cups.
For who?
Street Profits.
Oh yeah. That, okay.
I'm kind of hit. Charlene. I'm kind of hit.
They don't need it to get over.
They don't need it to get over, but it's also a reference to slightly, I don't even want to say racial, slightly, I don't know. Sometimes I feel it, sometimes I don't. It's always kind of awkward being a person of color, and you see that in certain communities, and you see it on mainstream, and you know, it is what it is. If they like it, then I love it. If they don't have an issue with it, then it is what it is. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the thing for it.
Anything else?
No,
Anyone talking about how they're replicating my moves at home right now? Maybe everyone's like trying out my moves at home right now, not on the chat.
Zeno Hour says Adam Cole versus Dream for Takeover.
That'd be good.
That would be good.
I would like that. Actually, that's a good matchup. And what? Both titles on the line? Winner take all, or Dream drops it. I wanted Matt Riddle at SummerSlam Takeover, going for
could do 2 belt type thing like Becky.
Going for the NXT Championship, not even a North American.
I feel like
put Riddle versus Adam Cole. I think it works storyline wise because Riddle's already taking out Roderick Strong, and he's kind of going one by one for the Undisputed Era.
I feel like if Dream drops the belt, he has to move over. Like, I don't know what else he would do.
Yeah, unless he gets the NXT Championship.
His gimmicks and his mic skills are just so there. And Beth Phoenix said it best, too. Like, he does social media, and
he's so good at it too.
He's so good at it, but he's so on top of it where he doesn't put too much out there. Like you see what he wants you to see, and he does that on everything. His personal life in WWE, how he does interviews, how he does his promos. Like everything is very calculated. He's very smart on how he
lives his own gimmick,
right?
And he does a good job at it. I like him a lot.
Yeah. So I feel like if he does drop the belt, well, I mean, I think he's creating probably 60-80% of what we're seeing on NXT. So I feel like if he drops the belt, he'll be able to make it work either way. So I just don't want to see him move up and then get lost in the
Yeah, I mean, that's always the worry, you know?
Yeah.
And we've seen that too much. Like Ricochet, Aleister Black just doing promos in the back. No one's really getting over the last, like...
Lars.
Yeah. The last few people
The
they
only
brought
person
up...
is Lacey Evans.
Legitimately. That's the only one that's nearly remotely... And all of them have star potential. I really think. Like, Ricochet... And Aleister, you can do good things with him. Lars, I think they're trying
to Ricochet up too quickly.
Maybe
people. It's kind of like
they didn't have a ready feud for him. That's the problem. They moved him up, they hyped him up, and it's like, what's next?
Well, I feel like you have, if you watch NXT, there's a high connection that you watch either Raw or SmackDown of some capacity, or you know what's going on. Okay. So, you know, for instance, when Becky moved up, Charlotte moved up, Sasha, all that, everybody was familiar with them because they've been backing. Not everybody. The people from NXT were familiar with them because they've been backing them for so long, and you saw their growth and their potential. Yeah. With Ricochet, if you don't watch Lucha, if you're not familiar with Indie, you know, he was in NXT for a hot minute. So the NXT universe couldn't get behind his storyline and, you know, recite his saga of how he got to main roster. Now he's on main roster. So he doesn't even have, like, the fans of NXT really behind him because they didn't give the fans of NXT a chance to get behind him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's like every stage of life or every stage of wherever, it's like you need some people who are backing you. And if there's nobody backing you, then it's hard to get that push. If you have all these folks from NXT saying, damn, Ricochet, he's done this, he has this storyline, he has this, then it's like, oh, shit, like I need to watch it too, I need to support him too. But you're like, oh, yeah, he's amazing in the ring.
Yeah, he's good. And then what else? You know, yeah, I completely agree. I think they kind of missed the boat at that. You can still salvage him, but right now he's in no man's land, as they say.
You says Ricochet was in NXT for a year and a year only.
Yeah. It's been longer. Johnny's been here all his life, so...
Leo Rush too. I mean, he had amazing. Well, you know, he's
that's
gone
a whole
now.
other case there. Yeah.
He had amazing skills. He was great on NXT. He was great on NXT. He was great on 205, and then, you know, he moved over to Raw, and he had a great thing with
Lashley.
Yeah, Lashley. And, you know, he kind of shot himself in the foot with that. But he had the annoyance of, oh my God, I'm just losing so many names too. The Italian stallion from New York. You know what I'm talking about.
Enzo?
Yeah. He had the skills of Enzo. Yeah. And the annoyance of Enzo, but not to that level.
Right. Better too, probably.
And then he left. It's almost like Enzo too. It was terrible.
Well, you know what happens if you're...
This is kind of dirty. We need to wash this.
Well, on that note, we will be cleaning things up, and we know a better way. Tell them how to get that cocoa butter and then clean up and smell good, TK.
All right, if y'all want some cocoa butter, some candles, all that good stuff, you can go to centerincompany.com. If you are watching us on YouTube or listening to us, you can type in the promo code AfterBuzz TV and get a discount there. On top of that, you can follow me on everything at TK Trinidad.
There you go. And me, you can find me at the Jim Alexander. So Real Talker. Everything's dirty right now. RealTalker.com. You get some good, not dirty content. It's REEL Talker.com.
After 12.
Hey, you don't know what happens after 12 with me. We're not going to be talking about that, but hey, the Indie King, Jim Alexander. No, I'm just messing with you guys. Adam Cole,
your
baby.
name.
Adam Cole, baby. Yeah, I'm just shooting myself in the foot right now. See you guys next week.
Ciao.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.